Good morning, students. As you know that we have already discussed the introduction of chapter number 2, polynomial, class 10th. Today we will discuss exercise 2.1. In exercise 2.1, we have to find out how many zeros of the given graph. Exercise 2.1 in question number 1, first part. Students, in question number 1, first part, this is your graph. This is your Cartesian plane x, x dash, y, y dash. And this is the graph of the given polynomials. Student, we have to find out how many zeros of the graph of given polynomials. Number of zeros of p of x. Number of zeros of p of x is 0 because this graph does not intersect the x-axis at any point, because this graph does not intersect the x-axis at any point. Student, this graph does not intersect the x-axis at any point, so number of zeros of given polynomial p of x is 0. Student, please note down it. Yes, students. Now question number first, second part is, student, the given Cartesian plane is, that is x, x dash, that is y, y dash. Now students, the graphs is such as, students, in this graph we are observing here that this graph intersects the x-axis at one point. So number of zeros of p of x is 1 because the given graph intersect the x-axis only at one point. Students, if the given graph intersects the x-axis only at one point, so number of zeros of p of x is 1. Please note down it, students. Now students, we will discuss fifth part. Fifth part of question number 1. Fifth part of question number 1. Question number 1, fifth part. Students, this is your Cartesian plane x, x dash, and this is your Cartesian plane, that is y and y dash. Now students, in fifth part, the graph is such as, now this graph intersects the x-axis at 4 points, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the number of zeros of P of X is 4 because the graph intersect the x-axis at 4 points. Student, please note down it. Students, please do the remaining parts. Third part, fourth part and sixth part in homework. Students, homework, that is question number 1, and that is third part and fifth, third part, fourth part and sixth part. Please do in homework. Now student, our next topic is relationship between zeros and coefficient of quadratic polynomials. Students, now our next topic is relationship between zeros and coefficient of a quadratic polynomials. Now student, we will take a polynomial that is P of X. Students, P is a function that is represent any polynomial whose variable is X. Now quadratic polynomial, standard form of quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. Ax square plus bx plus c. Students, a is not equal to 0 where a, b, c are real numbers. Student, it is a quadratic polynomial. So number of zeros of quadratic polynomial will be 2. Student, we will consider two zeros. What are zeros? If let alpha and beta, we will consider let alpha beta are 2 zeros. Let alpha beta are 2 zeros of quadratic polynomial P of X. Student, what are zeros? Student, alpha and beta are 2 zeros. If we will replace x with alpha, then remainder will be equal to 0, because it is the zeros of the given polynomials. And if we will replace beta, if we replace x with beta, then remainder is also equal to zeros. Zeros is a number. If we will replace by that number, then the remainder will be equal to zeros. Now students, we have to create a relationship between zeros. Zeros are alpha, beta. Coefficient of quadratic polynomials. Coefficient of x square is a, coefficient of x is b, and constant term is c. Now student, we have to create a relationship between zeros, alpha, beta, and coefficient of quadratic polynomials. Now student, first one is sum of zeros. Sum of zeros means alpha plus beta. Student, please keep in mind that will be equal to minus b by a. Now student, what is b? b is the coefficient of x minus coefficient of x. And now student, what is a? A is the coefficient of x square. Coefficient of x square. Student, these formulae are most important. Please keep in mind alpha plus beta minus b by a, that is minus coefficient of x, and a is coefficient of x square. Next one is product of zeros. That is alpha into beta, that is equal to c by a. What is c? C is constant terms and a is coefficient of x square. C is constant terms and a is coefficient of x square. Student, please note down it and keep in mind these formulae are very most important formulae, because these formulae will be used in exercise 2.2. Please note down it. Now student, next one is remark. Student, we have to given the zeros, sum of zeros and product of zeros. We have to make a quadratic polynomials. Then how can you make a quadratic polynomials? Student, remark. Please note down it. Let alpha beta are the zeros of required quadratic polynomial p of x. Student, it is a quadratic polynomials. So if it is a quadratic polynomials, then there will be two zeros. In cubic polynomial there are 3 zeros. In biquadratic polynomial there are 4 zeros. We have to make a quadratic polynomials. So alpha beta are 2 zeros of quadratic polynomial p of x. Students, we have to given in exercise 2.2 question number 2, sum of zeros, alpha plus beta is given, alpha into beta is given. Then how can we make the quadratic polynomials? Students, now the formula will be p of x is equal to k is real number, bracket x square minus alpha plus beta, sum of zeros, alpha plus beta, sum of zeros, x plus product of zeros, alpha into beta, where k is real numbers, Students, you can write such as p of x is equal to k x square minus alpha plus beta, sum of zeros, x, alpha beta, that is product of zeros. Student, please note down it. This is the very most important formula. By this formula, you can make a quadratic polynomials. Student, note down it. Now student, we will discuss exercise 2.1. Exercise 2.1. Now we will discuss exercise 2.1. Now students, find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. Exercise 2.2. Exercise 2.2. Now student, question number 1. You have to given a quadratic polynomial that is p of x. First part, that is p of x is equal to x square minus 2x minus 8. Student, first of all, we have to find out the zeros of the given quadratic polynomials. After that, we have to verify. The relationship between the zeros and the coefficient of quadratic polynomials. Now student, first of all we will find out the zeros. Now student, we will compare the given quadratic polynomials with standard form of quadratic polynomials, that is ax square plus bx plus c. After comparing, we have to find out what is a. A is 1, b is equal to minus 2 and c is equal to minus 8. A is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 2 and student c is equal to minus 8. Now we will find out the zeros by splitting the middle term method. Now student, x square minus 2x minus 8. Coefficient of x square is 1. Coefficient of x square is 1. We will multiply to minus 8. That will remains minus 8. Now student, make two factors such that multiplication of two factors will be minus 8 and subtraction will be minus 2. Now we will try factorization of 8, that is 2 4 are 8, 2 2 are 4, 2 1 are 2. Now student, we will arrange 2, 2 and 2 such that multiplication of two factor will be minus 8 and the subtraction will be minus 2. Now student, that is 2 into 2, 4 and 2. Now we will arrange it. That is a becomes a is 2 into 2, a becomes minus 4 and first factor a becomes a is first factor is minus 4 and second factor will be plus 2. Students, if we will add minus 4 plus 2, that is minus 2. We have to require, that is add minus 2 and the product will be minus 2 into 2, that is minus 8. You have to make two factors such that subtraction of two factor will be minus 2 and the product will be minus 8. Now the factor will be minus 4 and plus 2. Now we split the middle terms. First terms and last terms will remain such as, and we will split the middle terms. Now student, you can write such as x square, that is minus 4x and that is plus 2x and that is minus 8 such as. Now student, what is common in first two terms? What is common in last two terms? P of x. What is common in first two terms? X is common. X is here. So x is common in first two terms. That is x is common. Now if x is common, what is left behind? That is x. Now x is common, that is left behind, that is minus 4. Now student, what is common in these two terms? Now 2 is common, that is x and 2 4s are 8. Now student, please keep in mind these two factors will remain same. If these two factors are not same, it means you are doing something wrong. So these factors should be remain same, that is x minus 4, x minus 4. In some another question that will becomes different, but that will be remain same. Now students, what is common in these two terms? X minus 4 is common, that is p of x. Now student, x minus 4, that is x plus 2. Now student, we have to find out the zeros of the given polynomials. These are factors. These are the factors. Now we have to find out the zeros. the zeros of student, what is zero polynomials? If p of x is equal to 0, that is called zero polynomial. The zeros of p of x is p of x is equal to 0 polynomials. Now what is student, what is the value of p of x? That is x minus 4 and that is x plus 2. That is equal to 0. That is equal to 0. Now x minus 4 is equal to 0, x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now student, x minus 4 equal to 0 and x plus 2 is also equal to 0. If x minus 4 equal to 0, that so x is equal to 4 and x plus 2 is equal to 0, that is x and x is equal to minus 2. Now student, zeros are x is equal to 4 and minus 2. Now student, if it is the zeros of quadratic polynomial, that is 4 and minus 2. Therefore, the zeros of quadratic polynomial p of x are, that is alpha is 4 and beta is equal to minus 2. Now student, alpha is equal to 4 and beta is equal to minus 2. Please note down it. After it we will verify it. Now students, verification between zeros and coefficients. Now coefficient of quadratic polynomials. Now students, verify it. Verification. Student, now verification. Student, first one is sum of zeros. That is alpha plus beta. Sum of zeros, we have to find out the zeros. What is the sum? Sum is, that is 4 and next one is, that is minus 2. Student, plus minus, that is minus 2, that is 2. Now student, we will verify it by formula, by coefficients. That is the sum of zeros. By the zeros we have to obtain. Now sum of zeros by coefficients. Sum of zeros by coefficient, that is alpha plus beta. Now student, what is the formula of sum of zeros? That is minus b by a. Now student, minus b is coefficient of x, that is minus 2. In formula, that is minus sign already. And what is the value of b? That is minus 2. What is a? A is 1. Minus plus, that is 2 by 1, that is equal to 2. Now students, we are observing here that here sum of zeros, that is 2, and sum of zeros by the formula coefficient, that is 2. These are same. it means sum of zeros are verified. Sum of zeros is verified. Verified. Please note down it. Student, please note down it. Now student, in next step we will verify by product of zero. This is the sum of zeros. Now we will verify by product of zeros. Product of zeros. Product of zeros by the zeros and by the coefficient should be equals. Now student, product of zeros. Product of zeros. Product of zeros. Product of zeros, that is alpha into beta. Student, alpha is 4 and beta is minus 2. That is 4 into minus 2, that is minus 8. And product of zeros by coefficients. Product of zeros by the formula, that is alpha into beta, that is C by A. C by A. What is C? C is constant terms, that is minus 8. And what is A? A is coefficient of x square, that is A is 1. Student, if minus 8 is divided by 1, that is equal to minus 8. Now students, sum of zeros, sum of zeros, that is minus 8. Sum of zeros by coefficient by formula, that is equal to minus 8. Both are same. It means product of zeros is verified. Sum of zeros is verified as well as product of zeros is verified. So hence verified. That is, verification is complete. First of all, you have to find out the zeros. Zeros of given polynomial. After that, you have to verify it by sum of zeros as well as product of zeros. Now student, question number 1, that is fourth part. Now students, P of u, because the variable is u, and that is 4u square plus 8u. Students, we have to compare it by the general forms of quadratic polynomial, that is A is 4, B is 8, and C is equal to 0. Students, now we will factorize it. It cannot be factorized by split the middle term method, because there is no constant terms. Now we will factorize it. How can we factorize it? That is P of u. Student, what is common in first two terms? That is 4u. 4u is common in first two terms, that is u plus 2. Now student, P of u is equal to, for zeros, what is 0 polynomial? 0 point P of u is equal to 0. The zeros of P of u. P of u is P of u is equal to 0. What is the value of P of u? P of u is 4u bracket u plus 2 equal to 0. Now students, now 4u is equal to 0 as well as u plus 2 is also equal to 0. 4u 0 and u plus 2 is also 0. Now students, u is equal to 0 by 4 and u is equal to 0 minus 2. Now student, 0 divided by 4. 0 divided by 4 is 0. So student, u is equal to 0 and u is equal to minus 2. Therefore, the zeros of quadratic polynomial P of u, alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to minus 2. Now, the zeros of quadratic polynomial P of u is alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to minus 2. Alpha is equal to 0, beta is equal to minus 2. Now student, we will verify it. Now we will verify it by using these zeros and the coefficient. Student, please note down it. Now student, we will verify it. Verification. Now your zeros is alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to minus 2. Now student, verification. First, your A is 4 and B is 8. A is 4 and B is 8. Now student, verification. Sum of zeros. That is alpha plus beta. Now student, what is alpha? Alpha is 0 and C is 0. Alpha plus beta. Alpha is 0 and beta is minus 2. Plus minus, that is minus 2. Now student, next is sum of zeros by coefficient. Sum of zeros by coefficient is alpha plus beta, that is minus b by a. Now student, minus, that is b is 8, what is a? That is 2, that is minus 2. Now student, next is product of zeros. Alpha into beta. What is alpha? Alpha is 0 and beta is minus 2. Student, 0 into minus, if any number multiplied with 0, the result will be equal to 0. Now product of zeros by the coefficient, that is alpha into beta, that is c by a. Student, c by a. C is constant terms and a is coefficient of u square, that is 4. Now 0 by 4, that is 0. Now student, we are observing here that sum of zeros by the zeros is minus 2 and sum of zeros by the coefficient, that is minus 2. So sum of zeros is verified. Now product of zeros is 0 and product of zeros by the coefficient is 0, that is also verified. It means the given polynomials is verified. Okay student, please complete the second part, exercise 2.2, question numbers. First, your second and third part. Second and third part, please do in homework. Okay students, thank you. Have a nice day.